Hello, it's Ashley here from Paper&Twine, and I've got a cup of tea. It'll be midday on Wednesday as you see this. It is Tuesday afternoon as I'm filming it, trying to get ahead. Slurp of tea, much needed. I am here today to take part in the year-long Christmas collaboration hosted by Jessica Marvel and Lesley Bromfield. There are lots of lovely ladies taking part in this collaboration, and as always I will leave them linked in the description box down below. We're almost at the end now, so we've got October, November, then December. It's the dreaded and I've just realised I've put this up a day late. I am sorry, I must apologise. Yes, I should be putting it up on the 25th. Never mind, I might still get it up today, you never know. So this month the prompt is snowman or snowmen, and I looked through my not inconsiderable collection of Christmas stamps, and do you know, I'd only got 2 snowmen stamps in my whole collection. Seem to be besotted by trees. So I've got this one here, and I've got this fellow here. I don't know whether you can just see him there. Both of these were free with magazines. The large one is a hunky-dory kit. It is from a practical publishing magazine, but which one I do not know. I've had it a very long time. And the other one hasn't got any packaging, so I don't know where that's come from. I'm aiming to do 2 cards on camera with you today, but we'll see how the time goes, because you know how I do like to waffle. So we're going to start with this one because I quite like the, I don't know, the sketchiness of it. And I'm going to start with a piece of 3 1/4 inches square. I've got some smooth heavyweight paper from this Daler Rowney paper pad. It's not watercolour paper as such, but it's just a heavyweight smooth paper, 220 GSM. And because I want to do a little bit of colouring, I'm going to try my watercolour pencils from Tim Holtz. I'm going to use archival ink, and because I want this to be quite a soft impression or image, I want it to look kind of hand drawn, I'm going to use this Hickory Smoke. I don't have many of the archival inks, but I do think these little minis, it might be something that I build up in the distress palette, because they do stamp well and they are waterproof. And as I'm going to be using a little bit of water, we need that capacity. If I make a mistake on this, I don't get the whole thing stamped up, all is not lost, because I can turn my card over and I will try again in my stamp platform. So I'm centering this. Well, actually I'm going to just raise it up a little bit, because I'm going to want my sentiment to go underneath. So I'm raising it up towards the top and I'm pressing. Been watching a few Tim Holtz videos recently, and I'm sorry, I must apologise, I'm still way behind on videos. Oh dearie me, still doom scrolling, but I have been watching a few Tim Holtz videos, and he's saying, you know, just press and hold, no CPR. and I do tend to do CPR if you've seen my videos before. Another little slurp. And lifting off, and there we've got quite a nice little sketchy impression. And I'm just going to use my heat tool to dry that off a little bit. And there we go. And I'm aiming for kind of, I don't know, like a real kind of sketchy, natural look with this. And I'm not going to add that much colour, because I want this to be kind of like a tone on tone thing going on. Now, I know that I want to use a bit of speckled egg for my snow. Is that a speckled egg or is that iced spruce? That was a speckled egg. So I'm just looking for a green And I think we will go for a little bit of rustic wilderness. And I'm just going to lightly, I'm by no means an expert with these, I'm just going to lightly, in a circular motion, just add a little bit of light colour to these trees. And then, because my water brush flows quite quickly, what I'm going to do is just squeeze some drops onto my mat, and I'm going to use a fine brush. I'm just going to drag out that colour, and because I'm using a super smooth cardstock, it moves really easily. And I might come in and add a little bit of something else. I don't know whether there's a crushed olive actually. But yeah, I might just add another, although actually, of course, this is a little bit, what's the word? Incorrect, isn't it? Because at Christmas we wouldn't have green leaves on the trees unless they were evergreens, of course. But, you know, we can, what's the word I'm looking for? We have poetic license. And just going to blot that and just add a little bit more colour here and just a little bit of water just to bring that out. Of course, obviously if you live in another part of the world other than Europe and North America, you don't necessarily get snow, do you? And of course in the UK we very rarely get snow these days. Let's just have a look and see if there is another green that I like the look of to add just a bit more depth. Or we could come in, oh, what's this here? Is this peeled paint? Yes, it's a little bit of peeled paint. Let's try a bit of that. So we just, in places, just adding a little bit. But as I say, I don't really want lots of colour on this because I want the image to kind of speak for itself, and you'll see where I'm going with all of my layers in a little while. So I am actually going to just use my water brush now just to blend these colours in. And then because I'm going to be using a little bit of speckled egg for the snow at the bottom, I think I'm just going to add a little bit of detail on his scarf. But again, I don't want a bright in your face kind of colour. So I think we'll go tumbled glass. Or shall we go peacock feathers? No, I'm going to go tumbled glass, I think. So I'm just going to add a little bit to there and a little bit to every other stripe of the scarf. And if I go over, it doesn't really matter. And you can see that I haven't sharpened my pencils. What I want to do is get a palette that I can put my pencil shavings in. I've seen some people on YouTube do that with their pencil shavings because obviously it's pure pigment and you don't want to waste that. And you can make a really nice little watercolour paint. So I'm just going to blend out. And as I say, I don't mind if I go over the edges a bit, but if I'd stamped this image in black, it just would have been far too heavy. There we go. And there's just a little suggestion of colour there. Okay, let's find the speckled egg now for the snow. I think this one might be it. Yes, it's in here. So where there are lines, I'm just going to do a line like so. And that is all I want of that. And then I'm going to drag that colour out with my water brush as best I can. I'm by no means an expert with watercolouring, but just dragging that out so we've got a little suggestion of colour. And just dragging that down. And because I've used that archival ink, it's not going to go anywhere. There, I've just got a little bit of suggestion of snow, and I also now need a little bit on his body, I think. I've just finished my tea. It's cold now, but I do need a slurpette. I don't know what time it is. Oh, let me just see. It is 5 to 4 nearly, and it is beautiful out there. It's been the most glorious day. Which is just as well, really, because we don't want to be putting our heating on, do we? I'm just going to come here where there's a little bit of shading on the body, like so. And again, just use my water brush just to drag that out, just to add a little bit of definition, so that he's not all completely clear. And I'm loving the very, very subtle watercolour effect on that. I could colour his arms and his buttons in, but I think I'm going to leave it. I have just noticed there's a little bit of a tree at the top there of the roof. So I'm just going to add a little bit of colour there. And just drag that out with my brush a little bit. And blot it. There, so we've got a little bit of a tree coming out the top of there. Need a little bit more colour there. Drag that down and blend it. And these are so nice to work with, and they blend really beautifully. There we go. I'm just going to dry that. Okay, that is that. Now, there is a lovely little handwritten sentiment on here I'm just going to stick on. Put you back on there. And it is this "with love." And again, I'm going to use that archival hickory smoke. Make sure I've got it up the right way. Have you ever done that? Stamped your sentiment on the wrong way? Just giving that a really good inking up, because they've not been used before, and sometimes these stamps from magazines need a little bit of conditioning So I'm going to put that in the centre roughly, like so. Keep fingers crossed that I don't mess it up. There we go. I like that. Okay, let's just move my pencils out of the way, as I'm going to do a couple of other things to this small little panel before we adhere our card together. Let's put this back on here. Get tidy as we go along. Makes life a lot easier. Right, okay. I want my water brush, and I'm just going to paint along the edge with my water brush, just to dampen the fibres, and I'm going to tear just very carefully. Take the cardigan off. I've gone really hot now. Oh, trying not to put the heating on, so layering up, and now I'm really hot. We'll do the same on these sides. I was going to do it on this side as well. If you do it front and back, you get a better tear, and this just softens the fibres a little bit. Aims to give you just a little bit more control in your tearing, because we want this to still kind of be roughly square by the time we've finished. Yes, I don't know why I thought it was the 26th that this went up. Oh, so I can only apologise to Jessica and Lesley. But at least I've done it, eh? At least I've done it. And the top one now. So it's not entirely square, but it's better. Well, you know, it just gives an organic look, and all will become clear when I show you how I'm going to layer this card up, which I'm going to do right now. Just wipe up the water from there. So there's my little panel. I have got a 6x6 card blank, square card blank, and I don't know whether the camera is picking it up, but it has got little tiny ice sparkles in it. I then found in my stash this handmade paper, which was 6 inches square, and I've kind of done the paper tearing thing. So I'm going to layer that up on there like so. I've got loads of these kinds of handmade paper, and because glue probably won't stick very well with it, I'm going to use a little bit of red liner tape, and I don't want to stick it all the way down because I kind of want the edges to be free anyway. So I'm just going to put some in the middle. Like so. That's more than enough, and just use my bone folder just to burnish that tape down. It'll make it a little bit easier to take off the backing paper as well. So I think that was 5 inches, 6 inches square to start with, and I've cut it, well, I've torn it to roughly, it's just over 5. So I want my card that way up, looking to see which bits I want there. I like this bit down the bottom. I'm just going to centre that like so. And as I say, I like this kind of lifting off bit at the sides. Then the next thing I've got, I found this paper in my stash, and it's got little fibres in it, and I want this to be my next layer down, and I really want to try and tease the fibres. So I'm going to cut to, I think, 4.5 inches square, and then tear it and see what happens. So just bear with while I cut. Don't know how well it's going to cut on my paper trimmer, being a handmade paper. Yeah, it doesn't like it very much, but it doesn't matter because we're going to tear anyway. And again, painting with water will hopefully make those little fibres stand out. So you can see how this is layering up. We'll come in with the brush, and because there are strands of as I say, thread almost in this, hopefully those strands will stand proud and kind of be loose little bits hanging off on this layer, hopefully. I'm just going to pull. This is much easier to tear than the other paper was. And I don't know where I got this paper from. I've had it a very long time. I've got quite a lot of paper like this. Actually the water on this has worked really well. That first layer that I did, just do that little bit there, the water really soaked in, made it easy to tear. So I've got that frayed kind of look going on, and just those little tiny bits just add a little bit of something. So again, I don't want to add glue because it's a I don't think the glue would work very well on it, being a fibrous kind of paper. So I'm just going to again put a few little strips of this in the middle. So do go and check out all the other ladies, because I'm sure that they will be doing some really wonderful projects. And I'm sorry that I've been a bit samey with cards and things, but Christmas is a time where we're very busy, aren't we? And sometimes you just want a quick and simple project. And although I'm taking a long time doing this, it is actually a really simple project. So I'm just going to centre that like so. Stick it down, and again I don't mind that this is loose. I quite like that. Loving those tone on tone different textured papers. Now I've just got one more thing that I want to do to this. Just bring in some scrap paper. I'm going to add some of this iced snow. So coming in with my fine glue, let's just get it flowing. There we go. So where I've got my little lines, I'm going to use the applicator just to draw And we'll have a little bit on the roof. I should have maybe added a little bit of that speckled egg to the roof as well. I'm not going to bother with the snowman because less is more. And this is the I'll tell you, did I say, I think it's called iced snow. There, we just got little subtle bit of shimmer. Pop this back in the tub. Yes, that one's called iced snow, so it's kind of completely clear. And then I'm going to set that in the centre, and again I'm going to use the red liner tape. And again, it doesn't matter if I don't adhere the complete image down, but we'll aim for a little bit more than we did on the others, perhaps, because we don't want this falling off, do we? Oh, Blue's meowing at the door. We've shut off the heating in Ella's room and Molly's room because obviously they're not here, and closed the door. Blue is not happy about that at all. Because she likes to sit on the windowsill in Molly's bedroom and look down on what's happening out in the world. So she's like meowing at the closed doors. I don't like it, I don't like it. But tough, eh? You've got to make savings where you can, haven't you? Right, we'll just fold that over there. And that over there. I wanted maybe a little bit close to the edge with the tape there, but never mind. And I've smudged my glitter a little bit, but never mind. And we're just going to lay that in the centre. And there is our little snowman card. So I was going to do one with the funky snowman as well, but I think I'll leave it there today as I've been at nearly half an hour. So comment down below what you think of this, and I'm quite liking it actually. Loving the subtle little bit of snow there. I'm going to let Blue in and I'll be back very soon. In fact, I think I shall be back tomorrow with a coffee shop drivel. Take care everybody. Bye now.